Under the bright lights of a packed ballpark and with postseason ambitions already beginning to shape the narrative of the 2026 Major League Baseball season, the Chicago Cubs suffered a difficult 5-2 defeat against the Atlanta Braves in a game that showcased resilience, timely hitting, dominant bullpen work, and the relentless competitive spirit that has long defined National League Baseball. The showdown between two historic franchises carried the intensity of October baseball despite taking place in the middle portion of the regular season, and fans inside the stadium witnessed a contest filled with momentum swings, strategic decisions, defensive brilliance, and critical moments that ultimately tilted in Atlanta's favor. For Chicago, the loss represented another missed opportunity to build consistency in a tightly contested division race, while for Atlanta, the victory reinforced the belief that the Braves remain one of the league's most complete and dangerous teams capable of contending deep into the postseason. From the opening inning, both clubs approached the matchup with urgency. The Cubs entered the game hoping to establish an early offensive rhythm against Atlanta's starting pitcher, whose command and velocity immediately created problems for Chicago's lineup. The Braves' right-hander attacked the strike zone aggressively, mixing fastballs with sharp-breaking off-speed pitches that disrupted the timing of Cubs hitters. Chicago managed a few early base runners through disciplined at-bats, but Atlanta's defense responded with precision, turning a key double play that prevented the Cubs from gaining momentum in the first inning. That defensive sequence energized the Braves' dugout and set the tone for what became a highly disciplined performance across all aspects of the game. Atlanta's offense wasted little time responding. In the bottom half of the opening frame, the Braves displayed the patient and explosive hitting approach that has made them one of baseball's premier offensive clubs in recent years. A leadoff single followed by a hard-hit double into the gap immediately put pressure on Chicago's starting pitcher, who found himself battling traffic almost instantly. Although the Cubs attempted to limit the damage with careful pitch sequencing, Atlanta capitalized with a sacrifice fly that brought home the game's first run. The Braves continued threatening throughout the inning, forcing Chicago's defense into several difficult plays and creating the sense that Atlanta's lineup was one timely swing away from breaking the contest open early. Despite the early deficit, the Cubs showed resilience in the second inning. Chicago's hitters began adjusting to Atlanta's pitching strategy, laying off pitches outside the zone and forcing longer counts. That patience paid off when the Cubs strung together consecutive hits to place runners in scoring position. A sharply hit single into right field allowed Chicago to tie the game 1-1, briefly silencing the home crowd and restoring energy to the Cubs' dugout. For a moment, the momentum appeared to shift toward Chicago, whose players celebrated aggressively as they sensed an opportunity to challenge one of the National League's elite teams on the road. Yet the Braves responded like experienced contenders. Rather than allowing the equalizer to affect their composure, Atlanta immediately regained control through disciplined execution and veteran leadership. In the bottom of the second inning, the Braves once again pressured Chicago's pitching staff with smart base running and aggressive contact hitting. A perfectly placed bunt moved a runner into scoring position before a towering double off the outfield wall restored Atlanta's lead. The sequence highlighted the depth and versatility of Atlanta's lineup, which combined power hitting with traditional small ball fundamentals to keep constant pressure on the Cubs' defense. As the game progressed into the middle innings, both starting pitchers settled into more controlled rhythms. Chicago's starter recovered from the difficult early innings and began locating pitches more effectively on the corners of the strike zone. Several key strikeouts helped the Cubs avoid further damage, and Chicago's defense contributed with strong plays in the infield that kept the score within reach. On the other side, Atlanta's pitcher continued demonstrating why he has become such a dependable presence in the Braves' rotation. He consistently generated weak contact while avoiding costly mistakes over the heart of the plate. Cubs hitters repeatedly found themselves behind in counts, limiting their ability to drive the baseball with authority. One of the defining moments of the contest arrived during the fifth inning when Chicago appeared poised to mount a serious comeback. After a leadoff walk and a sharply hit single placed two runners aboard, the Cubs had an opportunity to erase the deficit entirely. The Braves' coaching staff responded by visiting the mound, calming their pitcher and reorganizing the defense. What followed became one of the game's most pivotal sequences. Atlanta induced a shallow fly ball for the first out before striking out Chicago's next hitter with a devastating slider. Then, with 2 outs and runners still threatening, the Braves escaped the inning through a spectacular diving catch in center field that preserved their lead and ignited thunderous applause from the crowd. The defensive gem not only prevented Chicago from scoring but also appeared to drain much of the offensive momentum the Cubs had been building. Baseball often turns on moments of emotional momentum, and Atlanta capitalized immediately after escaping danger. In the bottom of the fifth inning, the Braves delivered the game's biggest offensive blow. After a patient at-bat resulted in a walk, Atlanta's powerful middle-order hitter launched a towering 2-run home run deep into the night sky, extending the Braves' lead to 4-1. The stadium erupted as teammates celebrated at home plate, recognizing the significance of the swing. For Chicago, the home run represented a crushing setback after coming so close to potentially tying the game moments earlier. Still, the Cubs refused to disappear quietly. Chicago continued battling throughout the later innings, demonstrating the resilience and competitive identity that has defined many of the franchise's strongest teams. In the seventh inning, the Cubs generated another scoring opportunity through aggressive base running and disciplined hitting.